And he said that. Say it again.
They cannot speak on what we do until they
Facts.
know our struggle.
Facts.
And that's the thing. When you, if no matter if you're male or female, black is black and white is white. And so it's very important that, you know, whatever gender you are, and if you're of a, if you are Caucasian, you have to know our struggle to understand us as a people, you know. And so I'm sure that, you know, her husband, you know, unless she's just hidden that from him because she's from Compton. She's from Compton.
Facts.
Yeah.
She's from Compton. She's from the hood. She came from nothing. And so
Started from the bottom, now we here.
now we here. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
come on, let's
She
not
did-
quote
she
Drake
did-
on
yeah,
his
Drake
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, she let all the rappers hit that butt.
Honey, I don't think
anyway.
so. I think she's a little more conservative than
No,
that.
she Drake, Common. There's one more brother.
She
in there.
chose the fan ones too. I would have let him stop.
Common. She went shy down on him.
I mean, but who the
Uh,
common not hit? He hit.
I was trying to
Alicia
think. There was
Keys.
another black dude too. I can't think. But anyway, Stephen A.
Tiffany
is
Haddish.
way off base because, you know, you would expect you have to, you know, you have to, unless you black and you just don't believe in the struggle. Like, you know, you have some black people that just don't think that racism exists, and you don't think that there's systematic
That's
racism,
what they call
systemic
whitewash.
racism. Right. And so if you're living like that, then Serena would never be out there anyway.
A black Trump supporter.
She's not going to
Exactly.
misrepresent. Yeah, right. She's not going to misrepresent her husband because she doesn't believe in our struggle, or that person doesn't believe in our struggle. So they would never
She's
be out there
lived it.
anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, you have, and I'm gonna say this, you know, and you, America, you all can take it with a grain of salt. If you are white and you date somebody black, you have to get to know them as a people. You have to get to know their struggle. You just have to. You just have to, because, you know, that means if you don't, some of the things that you say, some of the things that you laugh at,
Some of the things that you experience that they do.
right, that they experience, that you will say, oh, you know, that's nothing. Why are you so upset about that? It's really nothing. You'll be very dismissive.
Yeah.
And it will not be healthy for your significant other and
For
for the
you.
relationship. And it goes both ways.
Facts.
You know, it goes both ways. I'm not gonna, you know, you know, if you are white and you are dating or married to someone black, they should get to know your culture and understand who you are too.
And it's not hard because I date white men, and it ain't hard to understand the culture.
I mean, and plus,
it's harder
just,
to understand ours.
I've grown up. You know, I've grown up in white society, and my job space. You know, the service industry. I've been to a lot of functions
Yeah.
around. I mean, you know, and this is no knock on. You know, I got invited to this Super Bowl party, and it was only two of us that was black. Me and my coworker's boyfriend. She was white and he was black, and you know, we were the only black people there, but I had a great time.
And y'all like they not like us. They
No.
not like us. But
No, I was cheering. I was being silly. I was like, "Come on, Saquon, give me a touchdown." I was trying to get that money.
Come on, man.
I was trying to get that FanDuel money. I said, "Ooh, Devontae got a touchdown. Go Devontae!"
But these bell bottoms though.
Yeah, I said, "He got that Ice Sisters."
I said, why did he? I said, those bell
I wanted to
bottoms.
throw something at the TV when I seen that.
Okay, for the revive, I guess.
Throw it on TV, man. I ain't with all
But
that.
then I started to
What
look
was
at
the
him.
message behind that hobby?
He's bringing back old school culture.
Old school
Yeah.
women, but what about us?
But
What
did
about
you
his
know
own
that
gender?
was what DJ Mustard did when he came out.
Mustard!
when he had the baggy clothes on, the baggy jeans. 'Cause I even looked at Tamron. I was like, he wearing baggy jeans.
But did y'all see the chain that Kendrick Lamar was wearing the
the A minor chain.
Oh man,
And the crowd went up for that.
Yeah.
If I was Drake, I would have been turning over
Yeah,
in the
about-
grave.
yeah,
that
about-
Well, and that's
Kendrick
the
Lamar
thing,
made.
though.
like
And
about
that's what
$5
his-
million worth of drape around his
And
neck.
that was-
it was a lot. It was-
And that was his statement on that whole Drake thing too. Was it's over, it's done. It even had the game over in the crowd, like it's over.
But that in itself was also a message because Samuel L. Jackson said, "Do you even know how to play the game?" When he was,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah. So the game that was being portrayed by Kendrick Lamar was the game that white society men have on black people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as far as like you have to play the game to succeed in this life, to to not necessarily be somebody, but to fit in and to make us not think that you're something other than ghetto.
We talked about that the last season.
Yeah.
We talked about playing the game. We talked about that.
So
the hairstyle, getting going to an interview, certain it's just about playing the game.
That's why
it's not selling out.
That's why I said you got to watch it again, because I think y'all will catch the message. I said,
I did.
Yeah,
I was not in the right environment to really be able to pay attention to all that. Like I said, me and my coworker's boyfriend was the only black people there, and he.
But I implore even the audience members, if you didn't understand the message, you probably will never understand the message.
I was trying to get my
if
on
you
doing
did
that
and you really want to sit down and analyze it and see, because there's a lady on TikTok that also broke down each thing of the messaging and the symbolism behind everything. But go back and watch it again without thinking about the Super Bowl.
And the thing is I'm older. I'm an older cat. And so all of that stuff is okay, but I don't really the subliminal messages and all of that.
It was not subliminal, but I mean,
it would be subliminal to the untrained eye.
Yeah.
To the untrained eye, and so I get it. I do get it. When I can understand, and I'm trying to say this the right way without making it look like that. I don't care, but I don't. I don't. I mean, and I'm happy for him that we're in a space now that he can do that, because at one time, if you even thought about, think about it. You raise a black fist up, you're getting canceled. You're out of here. Mm-hmm. Back where dude at the Olympics who put that black glove on, they sent him home. They said there's a backstory to that, but I won't get into that. But so we're in a space now to where we can do that. We can rap and sing and put together a show about oppression and what we're going through, and that's great. But I'm not really into all that. I don't, because like I said, I just want to watch football. But if that's what you're feeling, if that inspires you, great. If and I'm not knocking it, but. I'll be the first one to admit, I see what he's doing. That's clever. That's clever, because he can do that now. Yeah. So that is an advantage for us.
For sure.
Because, he it's not like, in the years past, if a black artist would have done something like that, they're like, you'll never see him perform at the Oscars. You'll never see him perform at the Grammys. You'll never see. He's done. He's done. But today it's like, okay, we get it, because it's a new time, thanks to camcorders and camera phones that allow the world to see our real struggle. Social media. It's allowed us to see what we've been saying is true.
What America's been hiding.
Yeah, right, and wouldn't accept. As far as, our plight. And so, so now they have to be accepting of it, because, they don't have to, because some of them are not. I need to see it from the beginning. I think he was provoked. Didn't provoke that police officer from shooting an unarmed black man. Didn't provoke him. Nothing in the world could have provoked him, but, you have some out there like that. So I get that side of it. I just want to watch football. I just want to watch football.
That's why I said you got to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it in my own private space. I will, because I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that we get to use freedom of expression without being persecuted for it.
And thank God that Donald Trump said that took away the freedom of speech and censored from social media, because it's all over the place.
He knows about it now. If he didn't know then, he knows about it now.
And that's the thing, though. It's like,
at least that backfired on him.
My thing that it bugs me is that people are like, oh, well, that was a trash halftime show, and it's from people that, like you said, it didn't get the message.
Yeah.
Or they just seen it as a whole diss.
If it ain't a Beyonce or
what I mean? Well, not even that.
There was some that wanted multiple collabs.
But even the past few, like, with Rihanna, Beyonce, it all came back to people saying, well, that was a trash halftime show. Then who do you want in there? You know what I mean?
Oh, and another thing was a lot of Caucasian people were upset that Kendrick Lamar didn't have any white dancers. So then they go back to what happened with the diversity, equality,
Of course they're gonna say
inclusion
that.
thing. Like,
Of course they're gonna
so
say
what
that.
would you have been upset if it was all white dancers and no black dancers?
No, they wouldn't have.
And she was like, yeah. He was like, bullshit, old lady.
No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. Because it happens more times than none.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, I see that all the time. All the time on social media. I'm like, damn. So you mean to tell me you couldn't get one black dancer to be a part of this whole routine? You damn culture vultures. You know,
Facts.
and so, you know, and that's just, and I'm just being honest, America, that sometimes this is how I feel because we had to struggle to get where we are. And like I said, I'm an older cat, so please forgive me. But when we create this and we put this and we allow others to take it to a place of greatness and then we get omitted from it, it burns me to the core.
Well, it's like
It burns me to the core.
And it's like, you know, me and my wife will sit there and watch TV, and you know, we see the HIV commercials, and that's the one time I wish I would see a straight white guy in there, a straight white person, but you don't see them. You know what I mean? Like you don't see them. Like and it bugs the shit out of it, especially, you know, it bugs the shit out of me. My wife were like, that's all you see in those HIV commercials is either gay, black, or trans.
Yep.
Right.
And it's like, where's the
there's
white
more-
person at?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but that's the only thing I'd be like that with, though.
Well, and
It's-
I'm glad you bringing that up. So we can kind of switch gears for a second because this has been my question about that because, you know, they have an issue with, you know, back in the day because, you know, Kobe got fined like $100,000 for saying that was a gay call.
Yeah.
You know, when he was saying when the referees made a call, he said, "Oh, that call was gay." So now it's sensitive to the gay community, right?
Mhm.
Okay, fine. So they're trying to bring awareness because of hate crimes and this and that. Okay, I get it. But why is it that, you know, all of a sudden, because, you know, HIV, you know, we were, you know, in the 80s,
Yeah.
we were uneducated. You know, we just thought it was the gay disease.
Yeah.
And then we found out, no, it's not. It's not just a gay disease. You know, it can be between heterosexual, it can be through blood transfusion, whatever. But these HIV drug commercials, they only show gay couples. Why is that? So why are they able to highlight it as a gay disease? And nobody ever catches that or talks about it. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind, like, why is it
Well,
that...
and it's like I said, now they kind of it was just gay people, but now they do have, you know, they'll have gay people, they'll have black people, and then they'll have the gay black people, and then they'll have the trans people,
Right.
Or gay white people.
or gay white people. There's no straight white people. It's like, why?
But here's the thing: the black people that you're talking about, you can't even tell if they're a couple. You can't even tell. You can't even tell because at that point, I'm thinking, okay, are they a couple,
Are they
or
out
is
on
just
a
one of them
date?
just showing I can live my best life
Yeah.
with HIV?
No.
They're not kissing. They're not hugged up.
No.
So that's the difference. I catch that too.
Yeah.
I catch that too, and that to me, and once again, that shies away from the heterosexual side of HIV because it's possible.
Yeah.
You can catch HIV and not be gay, but they for some reason.
Because y'all boyfriends is DL, period.
Oh,
Look.
But I feel you.
But no, I mean,
That's how it's
I
happening.
did have a friend after
You-
he went through a hard breakup. He went a little wild. He ended up catching HIV.
Right.
And he was a straight white guy. Like
Right.
it's like I'm saying, like straight white people get it too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so, right, and so, like I said, to me, you know, from the '80s to the millennium, the fight was, you know, don't label us, don't, you know, because you know.
But now y'all okay with it.
But now, yeah, all of a sudden, when y'all
Not
have
everybody.
now, also now y'all have somewhat of a cure. Now it's okay to say, yeah, come you two guys together, kiss, because we can fix that. You know, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I'm an older cat, so it is what it is. But you know, I don't understand how you could condemn people
messaging.
for being, you know, because you know that's just sports talk. Ah, man, that call is gay.
Yeah.
You know, when we said it was gay, to us, we didn't mean any harm. It just meant, you know, feminine. that was a feminine call. That call, basketball is you're supposed to be
That was a little
hardcore.
pussy
It
call.
doesn't mean we're not trying to say that gay.
That call was soft. Yeah.
Right. It just means
Well, it was like even we was
just say
growing
that call was weak. It's just saying
Yeah.
it was weak, and it's no. If you gay,
Are you
doesn't
saying that
because
I'm
I've seen
not
some gay
weak
men beat
'cause
the
I'm gay?
shit out of people.
Period.
I've
It's like,
seen it.
Try me if you want to.
I hear you, Harvey. I hear you. I hear
Test
you. Loud
my gay
and clear.
because
But
I'm
I
from
heard
the
you.
hood.
I hear you.
But
I hear you.
It's like even when we was growing up, we'd be like, "Oh, that's gay," but we didn't mean no disrespect towards gay people. You know what I mean?
Right, and it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But we
it
did
just-
get a little offended, just a little taste. just
Okay,
because
I
y'all
get
using,
it.
y'all
But-
using our culture
but,
for y'all
okay, so-
benefits. Nah.
So if we said that call was queer, would that be offensive?
Yeah.
It can't be because it's LBTQ. Got him. Got me walked right into it.
I'm
He
just
walked
joking about
right
all of
into
like,
it.
I don't get offended by that. Like,
No,
I've been
not
called
you,
fat.
but if it's worth fighting for, if it feels
got people
offensive,
out there
then you're
that
gonna
will.
fight it.
And
If there's people out there that will.
and
Yes,
that's the thing
you
about
know, y'all
today.
will.
I
You
might
know, your
not
group
be-
will. Your team will.
I might not be a queer to those things, but other people may be.
I just don't understand what the difference is between being called queer and gay and queer, or say that's a queer call versus that's a gay call. Because we used to have a football game called Smear the Queer.
Gay, you've got a gay man. You've got a gay woman that's a lesbian. Like, gay is for a man and
Right.
a man. That's
That's
gay.
right.
Then you have lesbians. Then you have your polys. So if you say queer, it's a umbrella of the different
Right.
branches of queer.
Right.
So that's why queer is more accepted than calling like, oh, that girl's gay. She's not gay. She's a lesbian. But if you say she's queer,
But is it
then you
offensive?
put
Is
it-
the question.
to a lot of people, it's because they want to be called that particular thing.
Right.
And if you call them anything other than that, it's offensive.
And that's
to
now, but we talking 10 years ago. Because
You call me
because
a
even in
fag,
my
and I'm
time,
like, yes,
because
queen,
you know what?
honey,
Because you
girl.
know what?
But we're not even saying
Hold on,
like
hold
we're
on,
like
hold
we're
on.
not even talking about people like for it with people. We're just saying like, oh well, that was that, like you said, like that call was gay.
It's
You know what I
because
mean?
you're taking that term and making it into something that is
Right.
making that term less than. So it feels like to the gays that you're calling that term, which is who we are. You're saying like
You're soft.
that's gay, like we're soft, that's weak, we're
Right.
weak. So they correlate that
Right.
to like, hey, you're calling our label as that.
I mean,
Right,
I get
and,
that.
and I get that, So let's backpedal. I'm gonna take it back because, like I said, I'm an old head. Because, like I said, at one time that didn't matter. It didn't matter. So so we have to be more understanding because today is today. But
It
wait a
happens.
minute, hold
when
on,
it's,
hold on. I want to
the
get off of that
YouTube
altogether. I want to get back to the queer part. The
Yeah.
queer part. At one time, queer didn't necessarily mean any form of sense of, it was being sensitive, not necessarily gay, feminine. But it also meant crazy. He's queer in the head. He's crazy. And somehow it got taken away from that. And I don't know if you knew that.
No, I actually
If
did
you
know
knew that.
No, I
Yes,
did
you
not.
could say somebody was queer in the head and it would represent them being out of their right frame of mind.
So that was offensive too. So now
Right,
you're
yeah,
taking
no.
that label
No,
and
no.
saying, yeah, call me that.
No.
We're
No.
all
I'm saying you can
crazy
call
in
no, I'm
there.
saying you can call a straight person queer and just mean that you somewhat crazy. That was a crazy statement.
Yeah.
It didn't mean
But now
their
they're trying to-
sexuality. It had nothing to do with
They
their
trying to
sexuality.
redirect the phrase to mean something positive.
Right.
not
I mean,
something
you know what I mean?
negative.
I guess, and like I said,
Let's look it up in the dictionary.
like I said, it could be Yes, we can.
Is that a toenail on the floor?
Yes, we
No, I'm
can.
just playing.
No, I mean, like I said, I'm
Squirrel.
born in the late '60s, so I mean, queer did mean it did. If you say, because we did say that, oh, look at that queer. So we could say, queer, fag, gay, whatever. But at the same time, it had multiple meanings.
Right.
It did mean, out of the
And
right.
in
frame
the
of mind.
dictionary, they do have multiple meanings for different things. So
Yeah, I mean, even gay has a different meaning in the
Oh.
dictionary.
Gay means happy.
the very first one was strange, odd. Number 2 is
Thank you.
devoting or related to a sexual or
See,
gender identity that does not coordinate to established ideas of sexuality and gender, especially
It's
heterosexual.
mental. It's just mental. It's all mental. That's all it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
It's all mental, and that's why I say somewhere it got lost in there, and I think that it just got adopted. It got adopted, but
We
at the
like
same
this
time,
word better, so we're gonna redirect what that means
Yeah.
to make it the
Yeah.
second part and not the
right,
first.
and so it's so you get punished for it when at one time it was okay because the dictionary even says what it means, and then Westwood said it can't be wrong.
Yeah, that's facts.
So
But
yeah, that's what I'm
just Call me
saying.
Queen.
Right? See,
I'll be okay.
look, America. I just hit him over the head with a nugget. America, hit that like
But see,
button. Hit that
so
like
me
button if you didn't know that
personally-
queer meant, out of the right frame of mind. If you didn't know that, hit the like button. I'm just saying.
So now you're calling yourselves crazy.
I
Right.
like it.
Right,
I
see?
love it.
You,
I'll be crazy.
yeah, you
I'll
can
be
call me
queer.
crazy. Yeah.
I'll be queer for anybody.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right,
there
well,
you
I don't
go.
know how we got so far left, but I
It's
hope
good
y'all
stuff.
enjoyed this episode, which
Yeah.
is now 2 parts.
I did. I love it. I love it.
But we are going to end this episode, and we're not going to make a separate one. So we're going to end this episode with none other than Cha Cha's Thought of the Week.
All right,
Cha-cha.
America, buckle
What you
up.
got?
I got a good one for you. I got a good one. So listen up. Don't be a know-it-all. Don't be a know-it-all. Sometimes you can be a know-it-all and don't even know it all, or don't even know it at all, because sometimes people just want to be heard.
Facts.
Sometimes they just want to be heard. Sometimes you have to be able to read the room. And when I say read the room, it just may be you and one other person. It doesn't have to be a whole group of people. It doesn't have to be more than 2 people. Be able to read the room. Be able to know when someone just needs a shoulder to cry on, versus you being able to say, well, let me tell you what I think you should do. Let me tell you what I think you should do. Well, why didn't you do this? Well, why didn't you do that? Haven't I told you about that with the last time we had a talk? They don't want to hear that. Hell, I don't even want to hear it.
Facts.
And sometimes you just want to be heard. And so sometimes that America, that goes a long way. So just recognize yourself and be able to read the room. And I'm gonna add a second part to this, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. It's okay, even if you know the answer, to just say, oh, okay. You don't have to always say, I know. Let the other person have it sometimes. If somebody comes to you with information that they think that they're turning you on to, give them their moment. You don't always have to say, oh, well, yeah, well, I know that. Well, yeah, I know that. Well, yeah, you don't know how inferior that can make somebody feel, especially if you don't know how they see you. Sometimes they can see you as someone that they are just trying to level up to. And if they can't level up to you, then they're gonna always feel like, I'm gonna bring something new to the table, because I feel like that I always just, when we talk, I just feel like that I never have anything interesting to say. Let others have their moment. It's not that major. You can be who you are, and it's okay just to say, okay. You don't have to say, well, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Let them have their moment. And that's my thought of the week, America. Have a blessed one.
All right. Well, with that being said, I wanted to just drop in and let you all know that we are coming to the end of season 3. And when we come back from our break after the season wraps, this is not the last episode. We will be rebranded as a new name and a new kind of setup. So y'all get ready.
Yeah.
This week's episode, my segment, Pop, It's Culture, was cited, and I got my sources from the Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy documentary on Peacock. Where'd you get your sources, D-Lo?
Oh, the Sports Junkie Lounge. It comes straight from ESPN. There was the Stephen A. Smith came straight from his podcast.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
But a lot of it comes from ESPN. I want to say CBS News, especially
Sure.
with some of the, because in the college world, a lot of the news comes on CBS.
All right.
So
Cha Cha, I know you had spoken and mentioned where your
Yeah.
source was from, but where'd you get your?
So my material actually came from the information about the fake memorabilia and stuff. It came from Reuters, the website, international news website, spelled Reuters, Reuters. It was an article that was written by Ossian Shine, Ossian, Ossian Shine.
Oh, that was the foreign name.
Yeah, Ossian Shine wrote this article, and it was actually edited by Toby Davis. Toby Davis did some editing on this, so yeah, I that's where I got my material from.
All right, sources, and of course the whole segment on the Super Bowl was directly from the Super Bowl. Like you can't deny what happened, and we all seen it
Right.
in color, 4K HD.
The eye, what they call it, the eye test. It was the eye test, America.
Yes. And with that being said, that wraps up our episode. And I'm your boy Javi, here with my boys D-Lo
yo,
and Cha Cha.
Yay, yay.
We'll catch you next time.
peace.